Hello, you're listening to, well, I guess you could call this a gameplay video. You could call it a vlog. You could call it a live audio of me talking. You could call it a storytime video or a vlog. Oh, you could call it a storytime vlog with no live video. Hey guys, this is James from The Odd Ones Out. Wear your seatbelt. Anyways, so the reason I'm talking to you today, like I said earlier, is to recount something that happened to me. And basically, what happened was not very eventful, but I'll do my best to kind of tell it in an interesting and dynamic way. So I guess, strap in. I don't really know how long this video is going to be or how long this story is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to have to edit out a bunch of ums or ahs. You know, Google Duplex does that, and they call it revolutionary, so maybe I'll just or leave them in. So in any case, I was at work, right? Now, truth be told, I've been reprimanded for, I basically did some bad scheduling, and I said I could show up when I couldn't, and I failed to tell people that I couldn't show up. And one day I just didn't show up because I forgot, or I didn't put it in my schedule, so I didn't know I had work that day. So that's the context that I was in, basically. I've already been reprimanded by the manager and the assistant manager. They called me to this meeting. They said, "What's up? Why is this happening? Is there anything you can do to improve the situation?" And they had some suggestions to help me fix the situation as well. So they were like, so maybe don't forget to show up for work. And that would be a pretty good thing. So that's the context I was in. I was feeling pretty unhappy, stressed out, I guess. I did pretty well in my job, though, despite that. So it's like the very end of the shift, something like 7 o'clock, which is not, terribly late. Shift? Some of you might be jealous. You're saying, "Oh my gosh, Brian, I have to live the place I'm working." Actually possibly think that anything bad is happening to you. I mean, you only ever have to stay till like 10 o'clock. And that's true, I don't have to stay past 10 o'clock. I finally thought I was done with everything. Got a little bit of a pat on the back for just doing my job and not screwing anything up, which was nice. The team made our goal. Everybody was on target. So that was good. So we're about 2 minutes away from walking out the door when my manager says to me, or at least I think what he said to me was, "Could you stay after?" And I took this to mean, since there were 3 of us working, that I would stay after, and he would talk to me further, and then the other person would leave. He's like, "Just stand over there, and I'll just finish writing this email or whatever." So I stand over there, and I'm just thinking in my head, what could he possibly want to say? I'm trying to remind myself to be pessimistic. Come on, self, don't think positive. Don't think like he'll just say thanks for showing up and helping us meet our goal. Maybe he's going to say, "You did screw something up," and I couldn't think of what that could be. So I'm stressing out, just trying to figure out what it could be. It's the worst feeling ever, not knowing what you might have screwed up. That is actually worse than knowing what you did. Because at least then you have the certainty that this is what I did wrong, maybe I could fix it somehow. Or you guys could give me recommendations for how to fix this. But I didn't know that, and it was very unsettling. Frankly, I think it's the reason that my hair isn't all one color. So I'm getting gray hairs from all this stress, from not knowing what I did wrong. And sure enough, well, anyway, he's like, "Clean up the shop a little." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So we cleaned up the shop. Coworker cleaned up the shop too. And we clocked out. They're already out the door, or almost out the door. And I'm hanging out because he told me to wait behind. And he's like, "What's the deal? What's going on?" And what I probably should have said was, I thought you wanted me to stay behind or something. Or I thought you wanted to talk to me or whatever. But instead, I just instinctively lied. I said, oh, we should probably do a security check to make sure none of us are smuggling merchandise home. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess we should. But, we can do that when we're almost out the door. So come on over here. And after that, we just left, and now I'm sitting here, and for convoluted reasons, I'm actually repeating what I said earlier into this recording now. So I thought, well, maybe he said, thanks for sticking around. Or maybe he meant stick around till I finished up this email, which, now that I think of it, that probably makes the most sense. That probably is what he said. But, because I misunderstood, I was on pins and needles for like half an hour. Okay, maybe not half an hour, but I was on pins and needles wondering what I did wrong this time because I'm already, under the threat of being fired if I'm not on time and if I don't figure out all the scheduling stuff. And it stressed me out. I didn't know what it could have been that I did wrong. Maybe this is too rambly to make a good YouTube video. Or maybe it's too rambly for me to collect enough gameplay footage to make a good YouTube video. But on the other hand, they might still be optimized for watch time, probably. People say on YouTube that the reason you don't know what they're actually optimized for is because they don't want you to know. If you know what the algorithm's optimized for, then you'll just exploit it. So don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. If you absolutely love me, you can support me on Patreon, which I totally have. And if you have a passing affection for me, then you can buy my merch, which I also totally have, guys. And if you don't know where it is, then you clearly haven't been paying attention, because I say at the end of every video where you can buy my merch, and I have a link in the description for my Patreon. So that's, well, anyway, enough said.
Awesome. Anyways, that's the end of the video, I guess. I have to record the whole thing again, or I'd have to scrap it. I already have been putting off on this other video that was supposed to do. It was, well, I guess I shouldn't spoil what it was.
Double kill. You captured Zone B.